afternoon, whoever is on here so far. I don't think it's on yet. Okay, now I'm on. Hi and good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to my weekend stream. It's Sunday, and for anyone new to my channel, my name is McTeigue, and today I am working on the final transfer to board of a Witchblade commission that I'm working on right now. The amazing man who commissioned this piece has been waiting for 2 years, but I'm finally getting to the actual artwork. Yes! Commissions are something that I consider my fun work on the side that I get to do in between projects. Now, lately it's been, which is a good problem to have, and I'm very grateful. I've had a ton of industry work to do, so I haven't really had a lot of time to work on commissions. So now I've realized that instead of waiting for the perfect time, I have to make the time to get commissions done. So I am making some time right now to work on a Witchblade commission. And I'm currently, for actual work, or not really because it's still personal, I'm working on the cover for my art book. And then I take out a few hours to do Twitch streams. So I'm not really working on this a ton off stream. It's all happening on stream with Twitch. Now, oh, Gabriel Black is here, River Dragon, and Mike. Good afternoon, you guys. Lots of love to you. I hope that you've had a good day so far. It is beautiful here. It is like the perfect fall day. It's sunny. There's leaves everywhere. There's no snow. It's awesome. It's actually quite warm, which is incredible as well. So I got to go out and do some shopping. Boys, since it's all boys on here right now, you'll just have to take a moment of patience for me. I went and got candles. I love the Bath & Body Works candles, and they are, oh, and Kara's here. Hi, Kara. Well, Kara will get this a little bit more. I love the Bath & Body Works candles. They are quite expensive all on their own. And then sometimes Bath & Body Works will have a big sale and a bunch of their candles will go on sale. Now, for the last few months, whenever they're on sale, I'm gone. And no one else in my family is that enthusiastic to actually go get candles. So I went today and stocked up on candles for the winter, and I am so happy. Right? They are so nice. And they make the house smell so good, and I love seasonal candles. So I got, I think it's like a hot chocolate smelling one. I got a winter one. I got a apple toddy, it's called, and it smells so good. And then one other one, I can't remember what it was called. Agent Nerd, hello. Oh, Yankee candles. Which ones are those? Well, who sells those? Does Michael sell them? Either way, candles are awesome. So I stocked up, I got 4 candles. It was buy one, get one free, or it was buy 2, get 2 free. You could only get the deal if you bought 2 candles. But anyway, I got some. Oh, DC is here. Hello, DC Bray. Okay, so I do need to give you guys a little update on the commission. When I have been planning this whole time, or since Baltimore, when I talked with Harv, I have been planning to do this piece on tonal paper. Now, something happened with the tonal paper. I went to Michael's and I went to my big art store that's down south, and neither place had the tonal paper that I was looking for in the right size. So I bought another type of paper, and you just buy it in these massive sheets. It was like this big, like 3 feet by 2 feet, kind of gigantic piece. Oh, Harv is here. Okay, Harv, I'm explaining about the paper right now. So then I did a test on the paper to see how it would work. This is actually the color of the tonal paper, I believe, that say Mike Chrome and Mark Brooks use. And it seems like really awesome paper. This is the paper that I was able to find, and it's considerably darker. So I did a little test last night. I just sketched up a black cat. Since she has white hair, I thought I'd give it a little test run just to see. The white pops beautifully. The rest is a little, I don't know. I put so many dark marker colors onto her face, and you still can't really see them. So I probably need to work on this paper a little bit more to figure it out, and B, it's quite dark for what I was planning to do. So in the end, I don't feel particularly right about testing out a new paper on a higher end piece like this Witchblade. So I talked with Harv this morning, and we decided to just go with the white paper. So there's been a little change in plans, and I'm not going to be using tonal paper this time. Oh yes, Kara is here. Yankee Candles have their own stores. Oh wow, okay, maybe they don't have them here, Gabriel, because I haven't seen them. And let's see. Winter smell, just open your window. Yes, and bring in like an assault of minus 25 air. Well, it's not that hard. It's not that cold right now, but it gets that way. All right, so I'm going to be using the normal white paper, and to get the white dress effect that I want, I'm just gonna underpaint. I did sketch out a little something. I might do a little Halloween drawing just to like test this paper out for fun. So I drew these last night, you know, in a few minutes just to try them out. But I've decided to stick with the white paper for this one. I need to get my bearings on this paper before I start testing it out on other people who are having to spend their hard-earned money on a commission. So now everybody has all the information. This is the background. I showed you guys this on the last stream on Friday, but this is the background that I drew. And then here is the sketch that we all worked on together. And when you look, like I was flipping through the Witchblade comic. Obviously, guys, I've read the Witchblade comic a million times, and I have looked at Witchblade drawings forever. I never really noticed, which is kind of stupid of me, that whenever she's like, it's all starting out and her Witchblade is forming, it's only on her right hand. And I put the Witchblade that's fully formed on her left hand. So I flipped the image. And I'm gonna make her hand look a little bit more intense and claw-like. So I flipped the image, and I've made a couple small adjustments, but this is where she's at right now. And like I've explained to you guys, I enlarge it on a template that I have in Photoshop, and it cuts into 2 pieces, and I print it out because I just have an 8.5 by 11 printer. I see no need, nor do I feel like using that space that a giant 11 by 17 printer takes up. I have no problem just cutting it and splicing it. It kind of makes no difference, and you can save an immense amount of money. You do not have to have an 11 by 17 printer in order to work on 11 by 17 artwork. However, I would say, even though you don't need an 11 by 17 scanner, it is just infinitely nicer to do that. Like me splicing these 2 together, if they don't quite match or meet up, well, who cares? Because I'm redrawing it so I can fix those little mistakes. Trying to get things to actually meet on the computer with your final artwork is a giant pain in the ass. I know, because I did it for like 3 years. And then I was just like, fuck this. I'm getting myself an 11 by 17 scanner. So, you know, it's sort of, you can pick and choose. You don't have to. But if you are thinking of working in 11 by 17 artwork, I would recommend a large scale scanner. A large scale printer is, you know, it's up to you. I personally haven't found it necessary. Okay, I'll stop blabbering and read what everybody has said. Hello, Jack the Avenger. Okay, dibs on the black cat experiment. Okay, Mike. Yes, that's right, Harv. I'm glad you agree. Oh, Witchblade, I thought you meant the game. Okay. I never read Witchblade. Maybe I should add it to my list. Yeah, it's really good. Hey, Yo-Yo! No, you didn't miss anything, Kara. I was just explaining about scanners and printers. All right, so what I do, and this is what I do every single time, is the printer is not a full bleed. That means that the art doesn't go all the way to the edge. So what I've made is my little print template has it so that the art overlaps a tiny bit. So what I do is I just cut off the excess off of one side and I piece it together with the other piece of artwork. So I went and had some mall happiness time, and as such I didn't prepare this yet, so I figured I could just show you guys. Get a few extra mall minutes. Woot! All right, see, you can see this little strap right here on her thigh. It continues up there and it somewhat overlaps. So you see I can put it over like that, and just I need to make sure that everything lines up. And it doesn't have to line up perfectly because, again, I'm going to be redrawing this myself anyway. So I just, I get it close enough, get it as good as I need to without like taking out a magnifying glass and getting all intense, because it really doesn't matter. And then I connect everything, tape this down, and put my board on it. So this is my paper. I use a paper called Cougar Super Smooth. Cougar Smooth is not smooth enough. Cougar Super Smooth. And I get it printed. And all of these lines, there's 3 different sets of lines in a comic book template. The internal line is kind of anything that's important needs to stay within the center block. And then this one is don't put anything important out here, but it's gonna still be on the comic book. This last little bit is what's called the bleed margin, because they print outside like bigger than it needs to be and cut the comic books. Now, obviously for a commission, it's not gonna really matter. I don't have to worry about the templates, but I still keep them on there. It just helps me make sure I have everything semi the right size. Okay, I was just catching up on what you guys were saying, but you're all talking amongst yourselves, which is awesome. All right, now, obviously this that I'm working off of right now is my sketch. There are things that need to be fixed on it. Namely, at the moment, her boobs are not the same size. One is about a cup size bigger. So that's a first thing on the list to fix. Maybe try to have them relatively the same size. It's a good starting point. And then, of course, everything else that needs to be fixed. So this whole segment is going to be me drawing through a light box. So I'm going to turn off a lot of my ambient lighting so that you guys can see what is happening underneath. So now you can see the art, but I still have enough lights going on that I can actually see what I need as well. And my plan for this particular piece, as far as the background is gonna kind of fritter off, it's not gonna go all the way to the edge, but then it's also it's not gonna have a hard edge on it. I'm gonna kind of make it look almost like there's a mist surrounding the whole piece or something. I'm gonna fray it out on the edges. Hey Jason, welcome. It's been a while. Real boobs are the same, but not quite this drastic. I'm familiar with that whole concept, but this is a pretty intensely different amount in size. Hello, Shane. All right, like usual, I'm taking my art tape. This is just called artist tape. I get it at the art store. I think you can also use painter's tape. And I place it on something with lint to take some of the stickiness off. So now it has some of my sweater lint on it, and it keeps it from getting too sticky on the paper so that when I remove it, it doesn't tear the original. Okay, so there's one. Now this is going to be taped down for quite a few hours, so I really want to make sure that the tape itself It can hold the art down, but it's not going to tear the art. Oh, sorry, Jason. That sucks. Oh, yeah, I understood what you said, Kara. I didn't even know that you had a misspell or anything like that on your comment. I don't even notice it when I'm reading these. I read them so quickly. Okay, so I'm just getting some on the very bottom as well. Almost done. There we go. Throwing away trash. Oh yes, I totally got what you meant, love. Okay. I'm just moving these over here because they are giant and in my way. So for pencils, for the most part, I'm gonna stick with my 0.3 millimeter HB pencil. If anyone on here is new to my stream and would like to know exactly what pencils I use, just scroll down a little bit on my channel right here, and I have a list of everything that I like to use. And for anyone, sorry guys, I know you're on here right now, but for anyone on YouTube, if you ever are looking through my videos, thank you. And secondly, if you're curious what I use, please check out I'll be having links in the description box of this video. And on there you can click on my website and go to my About page, or you can go to my Twitch channel, and either one of them will tell you what tools I use. Yes, magic ingredient, that's right. Oh no, my wire just fell down. Guys, I'm gonna have to crawl under my desk. It's my phone charging wire, and I'm screwed if I don't have it. Okay, back. All right, so first things first, let's even out the boobies. And I'm glad this time it looks like you guys can actually see it, but I think I can still see whatever I draw on top thanks to some trusty lights. And this is where I fix up anything that in the end I feel was wrong. And there are a few things that especially when you flip a piece. So it's kind of one of those things they tell you to do all the time, is to take your art and flip it over and over and over again to catch any mistakes. And I definitely caught a mistake in the hair. You know, it was over too far to the side. So if you guys can see, there's a little line right here, because I selected the whole hair section and used the warp tool and just kind of shifted it a little bit. Hello, Philip. And I'm gonna double check everything with her face right here and make sure it's correct. And it's it's something I need to do more. You know, it's hard to flip it while you're working and sketching, but you know, pull it on into the computer. If you watch a lot of like work in progress videos from, say, artists that are working completely digitally, they'll work on the piece backwards and forwards just over and over and over again, and work for like 20 minutes on it one way, flip the piece, work for another 20 minutes the other way. And that is something that does make digital work easier in that way, because you can catch your mistakes. It's kind of, your eyes get used to whatever it is you're looking at, and it's really good to like stand in front of a mirror and look at your work, or flip it or something like that. So this whole entire piece, flipping it and now I'm drawing it the opposite way, is gonna help me catch any little mistakes that I didn't notice the other way, because my eyes were used to it. It's almost like you get trained to see the mistake. Or, you know, you're in a house and you're cooking and you don't smell the food you're cooking nearly as strongly as someone who just walks in, because you've gotten used to it. You know, it kind of desensitizes you. Oh, so sorry, Jason, that sucks. Oh, good, Harv, I'm so glad. I'm drawing in her skull underneath because it looks like her hair is still a little too high. Obviously, it's comic art. Comic book characters have giant big hair, at least Witchblade does. Sarah Pazzini has crazy long hair. It's really like her hair is a supporting actress in her entire ensemble. So, yeah, I will be drawing big hair. Ooh, C9221, thank you so much for the follow. Whoop whoop, Hypno Kitty. So yes, there will be big hair, but even so, I'm making some adjustments because, you know, it's one of those things I got desensitized to before while I was working on it the first time. All right, so I just know now where her ear is, where her hairline is, and none of these things you're actually even gonna see, but it helps me know where everything is so that I don't, you know, draw the hair shape in some odd fashion or something like that. This is her neck, and then this, of course, is the center of her body. And Sarah does have relatively decent sized boobs, so I'm gonna enlarge this side a little bit because they should be following the same spot on her rib cage and, you know, be in the same place. I had her the boob that is on our left hand side was too small and it was up too high. So I'm just bringing it down to be in line with the other boob. And it's on a slant anyway, because so is her rib cage. And, you know, as you know, boobs do sit on a rib cage. Enlarging is a great idea. Yes, Piglet's last stand. I did. I flipped it because I realized, I've kind of taken Witchblade in as a whole and gotten really into the artwork, and I never really noticed that if she's only got the Witchblade on one hand, and there are times when she has it on both hands, but when she only has the Witchblade on the one hand, it's on her right hand, and I had drawn it flipped on her left hand, so I just flipped the image back. Oh man, Jason, I'm so sorry. You'll be missed. Have a great evening, enjoy, and get home safely, okay? Hello, G-Monk. Hey, Tom. Hi, Tanis. So guys, I'm gonna do this Twitch stream on Witchblade, and then for Monday and Tuesday, I'm not gonna do streaming, and I'm gonna work on my art book cover. And I need to kind of hurry up on my art book cover because it needs to go to print. I'm late already. Now, granted, it is a me project, and as such, you know, I'm the only person that's kind of worrying about it. Like, I'm not gonna hurt a publisher if I miss my personal goal deadline of my art book, but still, I need to get a move on. I need to have it completely colored by the end of next week, which is challenging to say the least. I may or may not make it. So I need to get a move on with that, and as such, I will keep Witchblade for Twitch streams, and then I will work on my art book cover a bit on Monday and Tuesday. So as usual, I'll be streaming Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You want a booty commission? That's awesome, Arrow. I've moved down her hairline a tiny bit as well. And I have a super light center line going on here on her face. So I can see where the center line is so that her mouth isn't in the wrong place, because it's so easy to do, to get the nose and the mouth kind of off center, and that looks instantly really weird. Oh, wow. Oh, you're amazing, Harv. Thank you. All right, and I'm moving her other eye inset a little bit more. I felt like for where her chin was, her face went out too far on the other eye. And for her facial expression on this one, I've thought a good bit about it. And Harv, you can feel free to message me on Facebook or comment here. Oh, Witchblade is gonna be towering. That's awesome. Harv, feel free to comment here or message me if you're not liking the direction that I'm going with her face. But I'm kind of giving her the look of like, all right, so she's in a ball gown, right? And her Witchblade is coming. And I'm gonna give her the facial expression, at least in my mind, where it's kind of like, what she's saying is like, did you really think you could mess with me kind of thing? Sure, I'm in like a bunch of girly shit, but check this out. Vroom. Something kind of like that. So she's gonna have a coy smile, but then like, you know, war eyebrows. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And she's pissed that her dress is torn. It's like, God damn it. Do you know how much this cost? War brows. It's true. I never even thought of that. But yes, war brows. I love it. Okay. So now I've got her boob in the right place. And now it's just going to be noodling an incredible amount of detail. This one is a whole thing. So I'll try to look down and check as much as possible on the comments that you guys have. But I may get stuck sometimes noodling on a detail or something like that. So of course, by all means, feel free to converse amongst yourselves. Have a TV show going on at the same time or something. I don't want anyone to get bored, but I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to be having the time of my life just doing detail and going crazy. And also, the Witchblade is a little bit of a different texture for me to draw. I'm not so used to drawing very angular, like metallic organic kind of stuff, which I feel that all the guys that were from Top Cow, who were trained by Mark Silvestri, just have on lockdown. Regrettably, I was not taught by Mark Silvestri. Tears. So I will do my best, but you know, it's gonna take a little bit more thought and focus for me than I usually do. I'm gonna have to kind of purposely angular my lines, if that makes sense. I'm kind of like the queen of soft lines. So this is a really good exercise for me and an excellent practice in trying out a texture that I'm really not used to drawing. So it's gonna be fun. Oh, you're so welcome, Harv. Twitch has highlighted donation comment option like YouTube. I have no idea, Prime Time. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Piglet. I feel so weird calling you Piglet. That's just so odd. Piglet's last stand. Yes. Harv has been so patient and really waited a very long time for this one. Oh, okay, see you later, Harv. Enjoy your family dinner. No, Harv, that's so sweet of you guys, but Harv got into my commission. Once someone gets on my wait list, they are frozen at the price point that I was at the time that they got on my wait list. So even though they're having to wait, I think it's 2 or 3 years in Harv's case, he's been on the same, the price point that he got was at the time that I took the piece, not my price point currently. And honestly, I have no price point currently because the only sketches I'm taking are the ones on my my emails that I send out to my email list, and those are quick sketches. So I haven't risen my prices, I guess, except for my quick sketches, but you know, those aren't full commissions. So yeah, I'm kind of still stuck in like 2015 or 2016. Yeah, it's 2 years, Harv, since I put you on the list, but we were communicating about a commission for like a year or 2 before that. Do you remember? Maybe Harv's gone already, but yeah, it's been a minute. We started talking, I think, in 2015. Yes, exactly, 2015. So yeah, 3 years. Yes, exactly. I'm so sorry, Harv. I so admire your patience, though. Just putting away my tape. See you later, Harv. Have a good one. All right, I'm gonna have the Witchblade going up her neck on this side. I think that'll look really pretty. Kind of like a half choker. Oh yeah, for sure, Piglet's Last Stand. All right, so on this side, I've got a little bit of a torn piece of lace. And a little bit more torn lace right here. And then the rest is going to be just drawn out lace. So I'll erase, if I put strands of hair in any places, I'll just use my thin little eraser to erase them. But for now, I'm just drawing through so that I have all the detail and portions that I'm hoping to have in the piece. And then the rest I can just erase the little bits that I would like to have hair over. I wish. I love Silvestri's work. Like, also I love J. Scott Campbell's. The thing that I really love the way Silvestri draws women. They, and he can just make everything look so badass, you know, like the organic stuff and the way that he can draw, like, even zombie skin, for instance, or something that kind of looks like zombie skin, or, you know, he can draw even like the way he did Lady Death with the popsicle, you know? It's just so badass and playful and funny and hot, and like, I really love the way he draws. It's awesome. Well, this is very much the old version of Witchblade. I don't know if they're still doing the Witchblade like this. I would need to check back in on it. I have the older versions I haven't kept up recently, which is really my bad. Giant fail. So I'm drawing her arm through just so that I can make sure it's the right size and everything like that. And then of course I am going to have some Witchblade coming from this side as well, but mostly the majority of it is going to be in the main hand. Justin is here. Hello. Kylie's here. Hi. Woohoo. Yes, I flipped her, Kylie, because I was so focused on getting all the detail correct that I kind of missed a very important element, that when her Witchblade is forming, it is primarily originating from her right hand. So I needed to flip the image. And also it helps me work on some stuff that was kind of wrong. So I'm fixing that too. You know, anatomy stuff, her boobs weren't the right size. Kind of her face was a little bit lopsided. You know, it helps you see shit like that. Oh my god, I love that Piglet's Last Stand. That is an awesome image. They really are, David. So this is when it's just way too easy to start getting a little bit lost with all the random shit I drew on this piece. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? What is happening? I'm a little confused. I have confused myself. And I'm kind of trying to determine what is cloth and what is skin and what is the Witchblade, and I'm a little lost at the moment. I'm sure I'll figure it out, but like, what the shit was I doing? I do want to have belly button show through, so I am gonna have her belly button right there in a nice little hole in her shirt. Because why not? You can kind of play God as an artist and put shit where you think it looks best, and I'm just gonna go ahead and leave her belly button. Oh, you know what? I took my ring, my awesome crow ring, to a jeweler and asked them if they could fix this, and they said that it's not silver, and so they won't fix it. And so now I need to go on the hunt and see if there's anyone that will fix a ring that isn't silver. And it's starting to get caught on stuff and everything, but I absolutely positively must have this ring. I mean, it's become essential for conventions. It's the only way I can actually open the plastic seal on my art books. I need this. It is like, I have to have this for conventions. Yeah, maybe it's pewter. I don't know what it is. It was a gift. So, I have no idea what it is. I've bent it. All these parts are starting to get chipped off, so it's really sharp on the sides now. But I don't care. I freaking love this ring, and I must have it. I mean, one thought I had is that, see, I have all these extra rings. This is a silver ring that I've had for years, and I'd almost love to just get this ring portion cut off and have it soldered onto my silver ring, and then I would be like, this would last forever. I need to find somebody to do this. Weird. It's like jamming up for me now too. Yeah, she's in stop motion for her as well. It just did it to me. Sorry guys, it started doing that for me as well. I'm mad confused as to what was going on. Oh, thank you, Keeman. Well, I guess I need to look for like a welder or somebody, yeah, and maybe I'll just get it, I don't know, get it remade or something. I must have this ring. I freaking love it. It is like, it's vital to my life. Talk about putting like importance on things, but yes, 100%. I must have the ring. It is my ring of power at cons. All my art books come shrink wrapped, right? And my nails are always very short. I never have long nails because they get in my way to draw. So I need this in order to open the shrink wrap, but it's dull, so it doesn't ruin the paper on my art book. So I have to have this ring. What does recast mean? Like I have to get someone to just kind of copy this and make a new one? I know I do, Justin. It's like pivotal to my life. Or maybe I just have to find another one that's like all silver. I guess I can do that. Because this is starting to hurt. Well, that blows. Well, now I just need to find myself a bird head ring. Or a chicken head ring, as Justin keeps saying. Hey, Louie! Long time! So I kind of really didn't think through exactly how I was doing all these tears on her dress. I kind of just drew random shapes here and there, and now I need to really make some sense of all the nonsense that I have going on here and hopefully figure out what the hell I had in mind, because none of this makes any sense, truly. Oh, that's true. Oh, you wouldn't want to put a ring down to the bottom of your fingers? Yeah, that makes sense. Build up any imperfections in with wax. That's also true, Gabriel. Yeah, you know what though? I bet you Etsy has these and I can just find one on Etsy. It's just I really love the shape of this one. Some don't look right. It's true. I love my ring. I mean, it's way too big. As you guys can see, it just kind of flops around on my finger. Flop, flop, flop. Anyway, I've wasted so much time on the ring. It is my precious, though. For realsies. So guys, I'm doing something. I'm starting tomorrow. I'm gonna start getting up and working out because I've completely fallen off the wagon as of convention season. So pretty much summer onwards, I've just fully done terrible on workouts, and I am eating too much sugar. So I'm gonna go on no sugar and exercising and, you know, proper diet and all of that from now until Christmas. Well, you know, like Christmas holiday time. So I'm gonna be a good girl, I am. And that means no Halloween chocolate for me. Oh, you just saw one on Etsy for 20 bucks? That's nice. Yes, exactly. I need to. Yes, perspective practice on this one. So that means no slushy margaritas in Tucson. Weep. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Tom. Have her give me like a cheese cracker. You get one cheese cracker, Dawn. Some yarn wrapped around the bottom of the ring. The thing is I need it to not be something that can get wet. I know. I've got to like get my sugar in check, Tom. I've been so bad. I've been a bad girl, I have. Yes, my mom is trying to get me on keto. Yes. Oh, Cortran, I am 100% dying to already. Yeah, well, I'm really not somebody that likes to be on too many strict diets. Kind of if you tell me I can't have something, I want it more, right? So I would rather just keep everything within reason and moderation. However, I'm talking about food here, people. However, doing something where I'm kind of taking it easy on sugar and just trying to make a bit of a healthy push, especially after all the travel that I've done this year and I kind of just eat random stuff. Sometimes a decent amount of fast food at airports and shit like that. It's just not super healthy and I'm kind of feeling it, you know, not feeling particularly healthy right now, a little like overkill on sugar. So I'm gonna try to just get my health in check a little bit, exercise, drink enough water. As you guys can see, I'm actually making an attempt. It's amazing I like make it through a day. I drink so little water. So I'm working on all of this stuff now. And then, you know, then I can enjoy Christmas and have cookies and all of that. And then just get myself back in check later after. Yeah, my mom and dad do it, and my dad has had hay fever, like the worst hay fever I've seen my whole life. Like my entire life, my dad just spends all spring and well into summer just sneezing his face off. And he said he started doing keto earlier this year, and my dad has not had hay fever since. And like it runs in my family to have migraines. So I've been diagnosed by a neurologist with severe chronic migraines. I have them all the time. My dad said his migraines are gone too. So it does seem like for certain people it really works, and that's awesome. I love bread. And I love pasta and potatoes, and I would just be miserable if I couldn't have them. The fasting thing is working. Yay, Kylie! It's worked wonders for me. 22 pounds lost from intermittent fasting. Bread is underrated. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna be going on one, but we'll stop talking about food. I'm just trying to like tell you all so that I can have it out in public, so that I don't break it, and that once tomorrow comes, I actually stick to it and work out and all of that stuff. You'll sneak me healthy cookies. Yeah, see, that's awesome. I have been doing nothing. I haven't been exercising. I haven't been eating proper food. I haven't been drinking enough water. The only thing that I stick to without fail is my intermittent fasting. I've actually made a habit of that one. The rest I need to get in check.
Trace when you would sleep beside me, conversations in my sheets, body to body, a sudden hit to my blind side, like a ghost I couldn't find. I remember you said to me, nothing's gonna.
So this is like a little flap of her dress that's kind of been torn and is hanging down right here. And then I'm gonna have more Witchblade forming on this side. That is so great, Kylie. I'm happy to hear that. I'm gonna need to go and refill my water in a minute. I feel like I'm being such a good girl. This is awesome. Yay. Yes, Tom, I will have that in Tucson for sure. Yes, I also drink tea. I like my Christmas in a cup tea. So this stuff all here is tears in her lace dress, since the Witchblade kind of tears her. And like in the comic books, when you see like after the Witchblade has shrunken back down and gone back into her bracelet, she's covered in just hundreds of cuts, like she fell in a thorn bush, because the illusion that they're trying to give is that it's organic, metal, and sharp. So it gets her in all these little tiny cuts everywhere. No, I've never noticed that. Oh, good for you, Tom. That's awesome. Yeah, I suppose you could consider it something like that. You know what was I gonna say? Kylie, have you ever tried stevia? Stevia is like a natural-ish. Please don't anybody jump on me. If I'm wrong, tell me so, but like I don't want to like make some massive incorrect claim, but if I am correct in this, stevia is a naturally occurring artificial sweetener. Basically, it's like a calorie-free, sugar-free sweet thing, but it's not kind of like Sweet and Low or something like that. And I use that in my tea, so it doesn't have any calories or the properties of sugar. So you could always try that, Kylie. It's stevia, S-T-E-V-I-A. So the thing I've noticed with the Witchblade is it's always kind of overlappy. There's like one portion sticking out and jutting from another. There's lines that overlap. They go behind each other. It's like a giant metallic pretzel. Oh, okay. Stevia gives you migraines. Interesting. Study's ongoing, but it is natural. There we go. Thank you, Piglet's Last Stand. So it works for some people and it doesn't for others, and I guess you'll just have to test it. I am migraine prone, but I guess it's a different type of migraine and it doesn't give me migraines. So I guess it just depends on your particular body makeup. But Kylie, I would recommend at least giving it a shot. You can generally find it in any local food store. It's becoming a little bit more widespread. I don't think you can only find it in like a health food store, but I could be wrong. Oh, sorry, Shane. That sucks. Okay, so this is actually the bend in her arm, and I do want us to see a little bit of her elbow happening right here. So her elbow, because her arm is turning, so you know, this is actually the shape of her arm. Now, I've checked, and because it's kind of, think of the Witchblade like a giant gauntlet going over her hand. So it does make her hand look quite a bit larger than it would naturally be, because, you know, think of it like a giant gauntlet. And so this is where her arm is, and this is her forearm, this is her hand right here, and I've got a bend in her wrist, like this. But then the reason why I'm drawing through is to make sure that I have her actual elbow in the correct spot. So the rest of all these indication lines I don't need. I just mostly was drawing them to show you guys what I'm planning. But yeah, it's not something that I'm trying to make look exactly the same size as her hand. It isn't like a small little glove. It's an actual giant organic metal gauntlet thingy on her hand. And there's a couple round, like, energy style stones. They do definitely have an infinity stone air vibe to them. They're just a little bigger. Oh man, Kylie, I'm so sorry. That is so rough. I hope Kale gets better. You know what, Kylie, when I'm done on this stream, message me and remind me to tell you some stuff that I've learned lately that actually has helped me a good bit. More than anything I've ever been recommended. And like you guys know, I'm 40. I've tried everything. This is the one thing I've found that actually works. So yeah, I'll message you about it, Kylie. Yeah, I used to like have to walk by a window with my eyes closed and stuff. Hello, Opportune Jay. I don't know if I like that. It looks too much like another little square of something. Oh, okay. I have found something that works very well is to take magnesium. Just take the amount that, you know, it says on the bottle. You can get magnesium at just your local vitamin store or grocery store. And just take that every night before you go to bed. I probably take more than the recommended amount, but you know, start out with the small amount, whatever it is you're supposed to take. I don't know. It probably says it on the bottle, but I've found magnesium has really helped with my headaches. Yeah, I've tried everything as well. Magnesium is the one thing that's definitely like taken the edge off at least. Thank you so much, Piglet Last Stand. I feel like I look 40. Thank you guys. Yeah, for sure. They are the worst. Well, that's very nice of your sister, Justin. All right, I want to claw her hand even more, so I'm going to try to figure that out now. And then the Witchblade kind of has these little sections that just have like horizontal lines in them. So that is something I need to make sure I have incorporated into the piece a little bit. All right, let's see where it's at so far. Yeah, at least it's looking a little like it's got that whole organic look to it. It's at least the lines are a little bit sharp, and I will keep. I'm just gonna keep chipping away. I need to make sure this is as bright as it can get. Oh, thank you, Shane. This finger should be a little bit shorter than the middle finger. Oh, thank you, Tom. Thanks, Shane. That's so nice of you. Piglet, I think my eating is just fine. I finally managed to see a neurologist again, like, you know, I did in the States and in Europe when I was a kid. So I've been taken to neurologists my whole life. And here in Canada, I hadn't really gotten the process going. But I have a, now I'm part of a migraine sufferers clinic, and I am seeing a neurologist. So I'm sure at some point he'll like delve in and get on my case if I'm eating wrong. But I haven't found any correlation to any kind of food or lack of food or caffeine or any of that. I mean, I have been having migraines since I was 1.5 years old. My mom said I was, you know, lying in bed complaining that my head hurt when I was like 19 months old is when she said I started complaining about them. Because I guess I talked early and never proceeded to shut up. Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Oh, hello, Troy M. That's so cool that you use the tools. Yay! So guys, this one is a very heavy detailed piece. It's going to take a long time for me to make it through the whole commission here. But as long as you don't mind hanging out, that's awesome. So I need to make sense of this giant disaster that is my sketch. Okay, I really want to start bending the fingers a little bit, like, because I want to get that claw, angry claw look, like, maybe I need to not have them bending back and have them bending in a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave it as it is. So technically you can kind of kink out your finger. Okay, let's see. If you're going like this, you're bending your finger. Yeah, I need to adjust her whole hand. Me no likey. Did I miss someone's comment? Sorry, if someone needs me to actually see something, please put my name in it, because it'll make it in a black bar, and then I'll know that I hadn't seen that one. It's just there's so many comments coming in, and it's a little hard for me to keep track of everything. If I missed you, I apologize. Yeah, hi, Agent DC Brave. Please just say it again. I didn't see it here. I'm never trying to ignore someone. Oh, that is so very awesome opportune. I'm so glad that they got the AC working and enough space between everyone. That is great. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I definitely hope to be able to go back to New York next year, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope so as well. Yeah, all the conflus. Oh, that's cool. Liverpool's having a Comic-Con? That's great. Oh, for sure. I would never expect you to come to New York Comic-Con for your honeymoon, Tom. Definitely go to Italy. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I understand they didn't. It's awesome that you're getting that, and you know I really hope that your diet goes incredibly well, and then you know you're able to stick to it. I know how hard those are, and you know I have mad respect for you, and I'm sorry I didn't catch that one. Okay. Now I'm gonna have the rips kind of starting to go in the other direction. So, trying to just figure this out for a second, because I'm not sure exactly how to make this fall over her body. Okay. So it's completely torn off of her right there. And it's tearing off here. So it's almost like she's kind of got a little bit of like a skirt going on because it's all torn up. Oh, interesting. That's really smart, Kylie. I hope Annika feels better. Poor thing. And that is super sad about Kale, Kylie. I'm really concerned about him. That is really sucks to get diagnosed with that as, you know, as being such a young person, you know, with migraines. Though, you know, Laura kind of went through a migraine phase. I'm not trying to like oversimplify it by saying it's a phase, but Laura did go through, like, he was having migraines all the time and then he just kind of grew out of it. I'm hoping that he grows out of it. Oh, they said he might. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna run and refill my water because I am thirsty and trying to be good. I will be right back, you guys. Here she is. Now I feel like the other boob looks too big. Oh my God. Boob problems. They're a whole thing, people. All right, I'm gonna be right back. Let me see if I still have Dave's thingy. No, it's somewhere buried in my paper. You guys could see that, which I'm pretty much done with. Oh, that's like a cut in the... Yeah, it's just a line on the sleeve. But anyway, I'm going to leave that here for a second. I'm literally just refilling my water, and I'm going to be right back. All right, I'll see you guys in a second. I'm just refilling my water. Okay, I'm back. We do have a boobage problem. Okay, so here we go. Back to this. I'm working on her boot now. Hopefully you guys can see it. That's right. We will talk to anyone. And here is where her dress is going to start tearing down by her boot as well. Kind of like her boot tore this part of the dress as well, since it's all super sharp and stuff. Okay. So I need to work on this thing to make sure that the flow of the material is actually going correctly as well, because maybe like this whole section should actually be one complete piece of cloth. But I'll figure that out once I've finished this whole section and I don't need the light box anymore. Then I'll be able to actually see which lines are good to keep and which ones are kind of unnecessary, considering that I don't want to have it completely looking like the dress is about to completely fall off. Yeah, I was saying I was going to work on her boob, and then I looked at the boot and started getting into the boot. Oh, okay. This section right here is a piece of the, is like another strand from her leg. So it needs to have a little bit more sharpness to it. And then this is the cloth that's going over it. Yes, now it makes sense. I wasn't quite catching on to what I was doing there. So that is the top of her boot. And then this line here is cloth. And it's gonna go off like that. So we wouldn't see her thigh. I may make it so that you can still lightly see her thigh through it. Like the dress, like the light is coming from behind her, so the dress would be a slight bit see-through. But I'm still thinking about that, and you know, I'll take a look at what it looks like once the light is the light box is off. No, thank you, Piglet's Last Stand. Oh, you start from the top and make your way down, DC? That's interesting. Yes, they will come back. All right, so then I've got a few pockets of places left for the those kind of horizontal lines that they have in certain little areas. So it kind of looks like it's it's completely organic, right? And every artist kind of makes the pattern slightly differently. So I'm just kind of winging it with the pattern that I'm putting on her boot. I do know that they leave kind of like a circular section for like alluding to the kneecap, but the rest I'm just kind of throwing shit around and hoping it works okay. So always doing a heeled foot straight on is always a little bit complicated because it doesn't, you know, it just kind of looks like a hoof. So it's a little bit complicated for me to get it right. But I think I've pretty much got it. I may need to rotate the foot slightly because like I told you guys, I did rotate the leg, and as such, I think the foot needs to be a little bit straighter on. So when you have a complete shape like this and you know exactly what you want it to look like, but it just needs to go a little bit bigger or smaller or rotate slightly, the thing to do is literally just kind of almost follow your lines completely as they were, just move them in a little bit. So I've got the line of my foot here is out there, and I'm just taking it in by about 1 millimeter or so, and then setting it down. And then I would do the same thing, and I would move it over by about 1 millimeter on the left hand side again to shift it. So I've just shifted the foot without actually having to, you know, completely change the shape of it because I'm happy with the shape, if that makes sense. Yeah, I super can't with the hairless cats either, though I know that so many people really like them. Like Kat Von D has a bunch of the hairless cats. And they're just really not my thing. Again, though, that's just my opinion. It's completely fine. Everybody can do as they wish. Okay. I want this to look like a big, long strip of material that's all super tattered and worn and looking very, very torn up as it's getting pushed away from her leg. So like if she's walking and stepping forward, this would get kind of pushed forward and away from her a little bit. Thank you, Kylie. Okay, so I want us to see the back of her, skirt a little bit here, and then this is all going to be blowing, tattered, torn material bits. All right, I'm going to turn the light table off for a second just to see where I'm at. So this is where I'm at right now. I think I will make this whole section solid. From about here to here. So her whole hip is going to be in solid material. Maybe I'll put like a couple little tears, or I'll have this tear going a little bit longer. And so I'll have some portions of material visible through, or some portions of her Witchblade visible through, but not everywhere. Maybe I'll put that there. And so then there's just one giant hole right here. But then the rest is still all filled in. Okay, and I feel like her boobs are in the right place. And then I want to have a whole neck situation going on. Okay, so we're going to see, this is where her neck kind of connects to her collarbone. And this is her collarbone. And then here, I want to have just some random bits of the Witchblade. All right, and then here I'm gonna have lace running all the way down. I may put some more lace going down the side here on this side. And then on this side, I'm actually gonna have the Witchblade kind of cupping the bottom of her boob, for lack of a better way to put it. Yes, you are so right, Kylie. Okay, here's something. Since everyone's talking about their cats, post a picture of your cat, like, you know, in whatever pose you think is most their personality, and post it in the next 24 hours on Boop Squad. Well, it doesn't have to be the next 24 hours. It's just I kind of feel like if we create a thread, everybody should post the picture of their cat in the comments so that we see them all. If you guys want to do that, definitely do it. I'll see if I can find some crazy picture of Sherlock. I'm sure he's loaded with personality. And then, like, DC Bray, post a picture of your sister's cat. Or, you know, like some friend of yours who has a cat if you want to. And then if someone here is a dog person and has their dog, obviously post a picture of your dog and we can all see what your pets look like. And True Deadman, you could post like a picture of Garfield. Kara's back. Yes, my Sherlock is very fluffy. Alright, so I want to put a section of the Witchblade here. So I'm just trying to determine exactly how I'm going to do that. No, do not like that shape. Just need to get the positioning back of where exactly her rib cage is. All right, let's just do something like that. And then right here, kind of where the spikes are on her her chest, well, like right here on her rib cage, I'll make a couple little tears, but not super big ones or anything, just some little guys. That'll help indicate that, yeah, all right, some more sharp stuff is around here. Right here it looks too thick. So one thing to bear in mind is when you are working with cloth and you're doing tears or folds in the cloth, try to keep in mind how thick the cloth is, because you know, if it's really thin cloth, you don't want to make the parts, like, see, there's an opening right here. This is skin and this is the cloth over it. How thick you make that little indentation or whatever from the cloth to the skin is the illusion of how thick the cloth is. You're kind of telling people how thick the material is. So you don't want it to be too thick, and I had it a little bit too thick. You know, I want this to be like a thin gown, you know, and most like gown kind of material, if they layer it on top of each other, well, obviously like wedding gown kind of material is what I'm thinking about here. If it's thick, it's because it's been layered many times. It's not like curtain material or a blanket, for instance. Then you would want to make it look thicker, and the folds and creases and everything, you'd make it look thicker. But in a case like this, it's thin cloth, so you want all the little bits. It's not supposed to stick out too far from the body, if that makes sense. Do I have 2 drawings? What do you mean, True Deadman? Oh, yeah, okay. I have a enlarged printout of my sketch underneath this. So now I am, I'm kind of transferring the sketch onto a bigger board, and this is going to be the final paper that I work on. So I do my sketch smaller, I enlarge it in Photoshop and print it on 2 pieces of paper, and make it 11 by 17 size. And then I use a light box and kind of, you know, underneath here you'll see there's a lot of directional lines, perspective grid, and sketchy shit everywhere. Now I'm kind of picking what line I intended to be the final line. Oh, okay, I'll put the missing hand in. Okay, and let's get some of her hair in here too, just so that she doesn't look quite so bald. There we go. So at least now she's got a little bit of hair going on. Oh, this is off screen. Sorry, guys. I was just erasing some of the skull that I had drawn in for her because obviously we're not going to see the skull. I had that as indication for myself on where to put her hair, but that's no longer needed. So now I'm just erasing some of those directional lines that I don't want anymore, and it looks kind of weird when you see a bald skull underneath a bunch of hair. Yeah, I have no idea how long it took them. It had to be a lot. Though granted, I think that these guys are just, they were really skilled at this kind of stuff. Even so, it's an immense amount of lines, and the hair has a lot more detail than I usually do. It was like really intense. But they're also so freaking skilled that maybe they took half the time I'm taking on one drawing. Okay, so I have the Witchblade in here. So this is just a part that's kind of going under her boob. And I did check in the comic. There are some portions where it's starting to form under her clothes. And, you know, they do take some creative and artistic license and liberties with exactly how it forms. So I do have some where, I did find some pages where it was forming under her boob and she still had a shirt on. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Alright, so now I'm just getting the cloth folds in. So I am alluding to the fact that one of her knees is back behind her, and it's going to be fully covered by cloth. So we're not even going to see her back leg, which I think actually looks a little better sometimes. You know, you don't always want to have just all the information in there. I want to put more focus on this one boot that's been fully formed out into the Witchblade, and the other one is still under the dress and behind a little bit. So I also want to be able to use this space here to show more of the skirt. So this side is going to have a skirt, this side will have torn, and there will be the Witchblade boot. And now I'm just doing some folds in the cloth. And here I still want it to be a little bit torn. So that's why this portion is going to have some tears in it. Okay, I need to be able to see this a little better. So I'm just going to turn the light down just ever so slightly, because this is all still a portion of the part that's kind of getting kicked out by her leg. So I want to have enough stuff there. So it's being kicked forward towards us, which, you know, happens. Girls who have worn long skirts understand this, or I don't know, maybe some dudes. But when you're like walking and you're wearing a long skirt, you step forward, it kind of kicks it forward a little bit and out to the side. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm kind of kicking those parts forward. She is taking a step forward towards us. The weight is on her front leg. This leg is going back. So there is going to be torn cloth coming forward and covering some of the rest of the material that's behind. Or Scotsman, that's right. Thank you. All right, so right now the light table is on a very low light setting, so that I can see what's what I'm drawing and also what's underneath. I've got folds in the cloth. And then as it starts going behind, we're gonna see it almost like a trail in the back where we're not seeing all of the material. We're seeing some of the stuff that has gone back behind her. So it's going kind of this way and it's following the perspective grid that I've got in here. And then on this side, it would be the same basic thing. Though I'm gonna have a little bit more tears going on this side. And it's a little bit more open because I'm kind of alluding, and not very much. I'm not making this like a window scene. I'm making this like a wind current scene. I'm making this kind of like just slightly, the wind is going slightly to the left, but not overly so. But I do want to show some of the material in the background as well, so it's kind of flowing back behind. And then we'll have some cuts of material coming forward. So I didn't quite work all of this out completely on the stream last time. So this requires a little bit more think work. Me no like. Good night, DC. Have a good one. Whoops, I just dropped something. Okay. I'm gonna give the cloth a little break. I find that my tolerance for cloth, I have to kind of go back and forth to and from it, or it drives me crazy. All right, so I'm gonna start putting in the floor, which is right here. Just need to be able to see it. There we go. All right, so there's the floor, and I do want to have some curtain material. And it'll also be flowing in the same basic way that the perspective grid that I've got going on in here. It's gonna help me know where to put the cloth and where to leave the cloth kind of sitting on the ground. And then I'll turn off the light box and make sure that looks okay. And then here is one of the pillars. So I've got pillars and an archway. We're not gonna see all of this. Like Harv said when he was on here, he's requested that the background be sketchy. So it's not gonna be like really taking over the world as far as its detail or anything like that. It's just gonna be in the back as like a nice accent piece. Hello, SK Froy. Good night, Arrow. Have a good one. All right, so the curtains are gonna be in the back, and it's really, I'm not even really trying to draw them in completely. They're just gonna be there as like additional framing elements, if that makes sense. Don't fail the city. So for the most part, I'm gonna freehand most of the framing elements here, just because when you've got something like this, and this is just a personal preference thing, I could be way off base as far as whether this is technically correct or not, but I think that when you've got someone in the foreground that's like so organic and stuff, I think it looks a little odd when all the lines all around are just so like sterile perfect. So I prefer to get everything right with a ruler, and then for things like the pillars that are stone and wouldn't even necessarily be perfect are done freehand. So I did, of course, use a ruler. As you can see, all of my perspective lines are in, but then I'm gonna do the final draw freehand. Okay, have a good one, SK Froy. Enjoy. And like I told you guys, I am gonna be erasing in some of the background. So I don't want it to go all the way to the edges. I want it to kind of smoosh out. When I'm coloring it with Copic, I'm just not gonna finish coloring everything all the way to the edge. I'm gonna give it like a soft vignette or something. Yes, this is Bristol board, so yes, it's strong enough to go through. So I'll probably put some like detail on the pillar in a few places. I just haven't really figured out exactly what I plan to do. But there's also the thing I'm constantly going to have to bear in mind is that with detail, generally less is more, especially when I'm going to have such a busy floor because I want to do tile. So I was thinking about making the pillars round, but you know, the more I think about it, I'm inclined to not do that. And I'm gonna keep them the way that I had planned, which is to make them square at the bottom. And some of these lines I did not have in correctly, so I'm going to get those in now. And I believe right here is where it's the perspective, the horizon line. Okay, so I'm just making sure. And so kind of the way that I'm cheating this is I know where the horizon line is. I mean, I know where the horizon line is, but now I just need to get the vanishing point right on there. And so I'm just using some of the lines here to make sure that they're all meeting up in the same place. And if they are, then I know where the vanishing point is, because I erased it. Yeah, okay, it's right there. So now I can make sure that all the lines that I do on the edge of this pillar are all going into the right place. Like so. And then the same thing on this side. Make sure I've got them in the right place. Oh, good night, Opportune Jay. Thank you so much for highlighting my name so I saw your comment. Have a good evening, and thank you so very much for hanging out for a while. And have a happy week. Ooh. I feel like this side is higher than this side. Like I made it thicker. So, let me see. How thick is it? It is 1.1 centimeters. Okay, so let's do that here. 1.1. Yes. So I needed to go a little bit higher. So let's do that again. Make sure it's on the vanishing point, and there we go. And then the next one, it's just a smidge higher, so I'm just gonna eye that up. Okay. So I want it going, like it's thicker and it goes outside of the base of the pillar. So then I'll do the same thing here. not the right size. What on earth is happening? Oh, hey Ninja Robert, thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate it. And I just love that Hypno Kitty. It's so awesome. It literally looks like Sherlock. All right. We're fixing some of our issues here as far as getting this even. This is the tedious stuff that like is so frustrating about perspective, but then at the same time, it's really just, you know, find the vanishing point, use a ruler, and carry on living your life. So I really should find it so much easier than I do. But like I told a bunch of you guys who maybe follow me on Instagram or Facebook, which thank you for following me there. I'm studying this new art book. It's called Framed Perspective. And there's like two issues. There's Framed Perspective 1, which is really starting at the basics and teaching you perspective and all things you need to know. Framed Perspective 2, I've just flipped through it, right? So I haven't started studying that one yet. I am starting at 1. But Framed Perspective 2 seems to really be going in depth into putting people in perspective style situations, how to put the human body on perspective, foreshortening, all of that sort of stuff, which seems incredible. So I'm studying Framed Perspective 1 currently, and I am blown away at how incredible this book is. I freaking love it. So I highly recommend it if you are trying to study perspective or just take your work up a notch. It is highly informational. It is super helpful. I have learned a lot from it so far, and I plan on studying the whole thing. So, so far, I really highly recommend that book. Do I know where the Horizon Lunar Colony is? Hell no. Okay, so yay. Those pillars were being a real problem, but they're fixed now. And I'm just going to get the corner line here real quick. Quick. And I also am going to have the top of the archway following the same line as the pillar. So this whole section is just kind of sitting on the pillar somewhat. And maybe I'll put some plants or some roses or something in it since it's got a little extra space. Think of it like a little shelf. Again, though, Harv did not want me to go crazy on the background. He just wants a little bit of background to show the setting and to keep it very sketchy. So the background is not going to be inked. It's all going to be in pencil and just really chill. Hey, Juan Solo. All right, so this is where I'm at right now. And whoops, I need to put the other side of that pillar. But I want to have cloth going on right here. So it's kind of getting gathered and pulled in right here with the curtain. And then I may have like some lights up here. So this is literally just going to be a wall Maybe I'll give the wall a little bit of a base, kind of like the base on the pillars here. And then all of this is going to be tile, and all of that is going to be framing elements. Get this right on the corner. No, just water for me today, Lino. I'm trying to do better with drinking water. Okay, so that side is in. The archway I'm going to keep pretty simple, all things considered, since it's supposed to be sketchy. So I'm probably actually going to have to erase some of these lines and make them even more sketchy than they are currently. Okay. Now I've got the center line pretty much figured out, but let's do this again just to be safe. Okay, so 28 centimeters is the width of my paper, and so this is the 14 centimeter line. So let's get this up in the center. Off-centered stuff drives me mad. So that's the center line, and it looks like the curtain starts more or less 2 centimeters off on either side. So you can do that. And then the curtain gathers right on the horizon line, so that makes it nice and easy. It's going to gather right here. There's new art in the slideshow? Oh, wow. Well, I have spent a bunch of time collecting new art. I don't know if I've gotten it in the slideshow yet, but I'm glad you're seeing something you don't recognize. That's awesome. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far. And, oh, I need to put the cloth on the other side. then I want on this side for it just to have a little bit of a, like a framing element to it. So this will have a bit of a frame to it. Oops, my hand was resting on the on the light switch, so it shut it off. There we go. Literally all I need to do now pretty much is just, do the curtain on the other side for starters. And then start fixing up some of the detail, and then it's inking time. Though I don't think I'm going to ink on this stream. I'll probably ink on the next stream on Wednesday. Oh, see you later, Tom. Have a good one. Kylie, go to sleep if you're tired. All right, let's get the tile floor in here. Checking to see how it looks. Oops, I didn't realize that the material wasn't covering all of these spots. Oh, thank you, Philip. You're so awesome. All right, now I can't really see where the lines are that I put for the tile. So I'm kind of screwing up a little bit here. I hope I'm not, but I'm worried that I am. Either way, we will fix it. I think I intended for the floor to stop here. For some reason, that got a little bit mixed up. There we go. Okay, so I've got the cloth in on this side, so I need to get it drawn on the other side as well. So let's get that done. And I want it to be following the perspective as well, so it looks like it's actually laying on the floor and kind of rounding the corner a little bit, so it's incorporating itself in with the pillars. So even though it's on the other side of the pillars, I want to have it wrapping forward and toward us a little bit so that, you know, it joins the foreground space, if that makes sense. Okay, so it's kind of hitting around this spot. And then I'm going to do the tiles. I think I'm going to have them, you know, alternating color, or I'm going to make them marble, something so that they look a little classy and don't look too much like a bathroom tile, which I think won't look very good. There we go. So obviously I'm gonna need to do things to help her pop out and come to the forward and, you know, be the main attraction of the whole piece. But I don't think that's going to be too hard. I can do a darker exterior line surrounding her, which helps to pull her forward, or just different little trickery things that can help to bring a character more into the foreground and make them clearly the centerpiece of the whole situation. No, thank you, Keeman. Oh, good night, Piglet's Last Stand. I'm sorry I missed that. Have a good one, sleep well, and happy next week. Enjoy your Monday. Now, I have seen in a few pieces her thingy does have a little bit of a energy source. So I'll check and make sure if that's not just that I've seen it on commissions. I want to be sure that I've actually seen it in the comic book, but giving it some sort of energy source like this, of course, would make a massive difference to you know, filling the space, giving it a bit more motion, movement, energy, and then also a light source, which would be super awesome. Now, I had talked about putting a bunch of bay windows in the background so that it could give her some backlight. It's just, if I were to put more stuff low down right here, it's just gonna fill, like there needs to be a couple spots in the image that aren't filled so that it doesn't look like just overkill and you don't know where to focus your eyes. So I'm probably not gonna put the bay windows in the background just because I think it may be too much. So, or maybe I'll get rid of the curtains and just put a big bay window behind her. But then again, it's also just an incredible amount of detail. Bay windows also have, you know, wooden patterns to them, which will fill up the space a lot more in the background. So I'm kind of on the fence about it, leaning toward not putting in the windows. Oh, one window might work. I'll test it out. A big old hole in the wall. Thank you, Justin. Oh, now I can have the lights on again because I'm working on the piece and I don't need the light box. So hopefully this helps brighten up the situation. I'm just waiting to see if it actually helps with the lights. No, it just turns. Yeah, okay, I've got, this whole thing is on like a, it makes adjustments and color corrects as it's going, and so me trying to add more light doesn't help anything. It just overcompensates. Well, guys, I think that this is pretty much ready for inks. This is awesome. I had such a great stream with all of you. All right, let's get the lace pattern in. And so again, this lace pattern is going to be white. So I'm gonna color in the dress, you know, like the whole plan that I had with the tonal paper. For those of you who are on the stream at the beginning, the tonal paper, it, for starters, the two art stores that I have here in Calgary didn't have the tonal paper that I wanted in the size that I needed it at. So they weren't big enough. If it was too big, of course I could have cut it down, but it was too small and there's nothing I can really do about that. So I got another type of tonal paper which is considerably darker, and it's like 2 feet by 3 feet, and it's quite a bit darker, and I tested this out on this piece of paper. I just drew a black cat, and I put so much dark color on her skin, and you still really can't see it. So I pretty much decided to not do it on the tonal paper. I talked with Harv about it because this piece is for Harv, and while I love the tonal paper effect, I don't necessarily feel comfortable about testing out a paper that is a little bit not right. Like this is the color paper that my Chrome uses, for instance. This sheet, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a fair few shades darker, so no color really shows up. Like I tried to color her eyes with the brightest blue I own, and it just didn't work, you know? So I think that this paper is beautiful and glorious, and I love it, but it's not gonna like show up any colors like the lighter tonal paper would. So that's why I switched to doing it on the white paper. And what I'll do in order to get the white lace that I want to put on this, to do that effect, I'm just gonna underpaint quite extensively on her dress first, and then do the white jelly roll on top. However, just for fun, I bought some new acrylic paint pens, and this one is incredible. Oh no, this isn't the one I was thinking about. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, check this out. Look at how thin this pen is. It is so cool, and it's dripping on me. Classic. But anyway, this acrylic paint pen is so fine, so I can actually put in a lot of detail with acrylic on there, and it's gonna work really well. So this one cost $8.99. It was not a cheap expedition. I think this one was a little cheaper. I think it was like $5. And then I found that they have more Montanas there, but I was able to find a Molotov acrylic paint pen, and it's a little bit smaller. See, I have a finer tip to it. So I was incredibly happy with these purchases. This one is a 0.7 millimeter pen, and these ones, oh wow, they say they're 1 millimeter. So these ones are 1 millimeter, and this one is 0.7. So that's pretty cool. Hello, Kenolo. Thank you so much for following me here. Oh, you have these pen, Kylie? That is so awesome. Okay, so, where was I? Yes, I was talking about possibly doing this, and then I was explaining to you guys about the lace. So yeah, I'm gonna still do the lace and do it all in white, and all of that is still the plan. It's just I've had to switch to using my paper. I didn't feel right about making Harv a test subject on kind of a big, expensive piece. I will keep using this paper because I do love it. Or no, I'm gonna actually use the tonal paper by Strathmore, because it's a little bit more in the color that I want to use, and it's a smoother paper. And I'll test it and start learning how to work with it. I just didn't feel right about making Harv my test subject, and I don't think it will work completely for this piece. So for those of you who missed that explanation earlier on the stream, that's why I have decided to not use the tonal paper that I was planning to for this commission. I can use you as a tester, Kylie. Kara, thank you. All right, so Sarah Pizzini does have very nice, super long hair. So I can kind of go to town on her hair and have it fill up some of the space like that. I don't want it like big up and blowing. Again, I'm really alluding to a soft breeze, not, you know, big gusts of wind. Because I just think it works a little better for this particular drawing. Oh, Keeman, I'm probably going to be done right now because I am all caught up. And I am, yeah, done for tonight. I'm going to go, I need to go cut my son's hair and get the house ready for the week. So I'm done for tonight. And I think we got a lot done. This was so much fun to hang out with you guys. I feel like this was like success. It happened. This is finished, and the rest I will I'll work on Wednesday with you all, probably in the mid to late afternoon Mountain Time. And it was great to hang out with you guys. Thank you all so much for being on here with me. Next up is inking. So much inking. So I hope you guys have a good one. I'm actually going to not put any more lace on it. I'm going to color the whole thing. Put the lace on in pencil and cover that. There's no point in me inking the lace because I'm going to then need to try to cover black line with acrylic white. I don't think that's going to look very good. And if I fill it all with pencil right now, what's going to happen is all the nice light soft colors that I'm going to try to use as the underpaint under the lace are going to get smudged all around. So I am going to wait on the lace and put that on once it's done colored, if that makes sense, because white is kind of the final touch. So I'll put all the lace in at the end. I've been thinking about it this whole time, and yes, I think that works best, and it'll preserve the paper and preserve the colors while still doing the effect that I plan to do with the white lace. Whoop whoop. Okay, you guys, this was fun. Happy Monday to all of you. Enjoy your week, and I will see you on Wednesday for whoever can make it. Thank you all for hanging out. This was so much fun, and this is a beast of a drawing, but it's been great hanging out with all of you. Mwah. Enjoy your week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care.